following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I'm back outside. Welcome to Corner Booth pregame. I posted to call them the Corner Booth podcast. Shit, used to being just in the pregame. This is our last regularly scheduled episode. After this, now until about August, there will be random Tuesdays or random Thursdays we decide to take off. This is the one perk of the off season. We're not held to a completely set schedule, but we are here because this is one of the most important days of the NFL season. This is post draft. We grade today. Me and Matt are going through every single team. We're grading every single roster. We're going alphabetical. I think we're just going to go alphabetical, divisional, whatever the way.
That's fine.
Doesn't matter to me. But while that's happening, I had a little mood shifter this week, man. I was so hype. I was excited because Howie Roseman is that dude. Because apparently we're now the Philadelphia Bulldogs. So, in honor of Howie being a fucking G, cigar back, baby. This is a Cohiba Black. This is a phenomenal cigar.
Thought you were gonna come back with a big Georgia Bulldog hat or something on you.
It's a Carhartt Eagles hat, close enough.
Yeah, no. I mean, we'll get into it later, but I don't think it's really any surprise that Howie Roseman stole the show for Philly in the draft, just with not only with his selections, but the trades that he was making in the draft. It was just, it was masterful. It was just a fucking work of art for football. Insane.
We'll talk about all that more. So, Matt brought up quick headlines. Ravens do not pick up Patrick Queen. The Panthers don't pick up C.J. Henderson. Let's see. Who else am I missing here?
Today was supposed to be the day the Jets were going to announce that they were going to pick up Mekhi Becton, and I don't think they came out with that one yet.
So that means they're not going to pick up his option.
Probably not. I mean, hey, he hasn't been healthy since like 2020. So, I mean, I love the guy, and I hope he comes back and he just kills it, but this guy just can't stay on the field.
So basically, he hasn't been healthy since his rookie season.
Yes. He had a nice, promising little rookie year, and he has not seen the field since. And they haven't picked it up yet.
Here you go. All right, so we're going to do it this way. So we're going to pick our worst draft of the week. Each of us are going to have ours, and for that, we're going to do our clown of the week. Like the Bryce Harper sounds coming back. The clown question, bro. So Matt's pick and my pick for worst drafts, it'll be randomly introed with a clown question. No air foghorn this week. I feel like since I'm outside, it's a little cliche. We're zen. We're happy out here. I'll still play some music though because I'm in a good mood. So we'll get it rocking and rolling here with draft grades, Mr. Matthew. Let's just start off in the AFC West. Or actually, no. Are we starting the AFC West? I think we're starting we're starting the AFC. No, AFC South. NFC South. Sorry. Wow, I'm losing my fucking mind right now. AFC West. No, I'm not. AFC West. Sorry. NFC West. So, first up, because I can't read apparently, Kevin's right. I'm fucking illiterate. Arizona Cardinals. Everyone knows the offseason. Kyler Murray goes down. D-Hop's on the trade block. You've got Budda Baker and him both requesting to be booted. So a little summary of who they got. Paris Johnson, round 1. B.J. Ojulari, round 2. Garrett Williams and Michael Wilson, rounds 3. And after that, besides Clayton 2, nothing really big. I mean,
Papoa, that was a decent pickup in round 5. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. The first handful of picks are great for them. It's hard to give them. I feel like it's hard to give them a bad grade because they needed everything.
Solid B plus.
Yeah, I agree. Solid B plus. Maybe what is it? Is it go A minus A plus, or is it A minus A plus?
It goes A minus A plus.
Yeah. All right. So I give it B plus, borderline A minus. It's just Paris Johnson's a great pickup for them. B.J. Ojulari is a great pickup for them. And everything else I like for them as well. They just had a lot of holes on that team that I really think it's tough to give a bad grade when they literally drafted everything. You get interior defensive line, cornerback, linebacker, quarterback, guard, tackle, edge, corner, wide receiver. They drafted everything.
So for me, it's weird. So I look at I look at other teams, like they hit their first 3 picks.
Yeah.
A lot of teams don't do that. So this is why the only reason I'm giving it an A is because I didn't see a late round gem that I loved, and I think they're reached on Paris Johnson.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like Paris Johnson a lot. I think Skoronski's the top tackle, but I also think even if you took him at 6, that's reaching. So I think it was a little high for Paris Johnson.
Fair enough. All right, we're going down to the Dirty South. ATL, giving him a B- because besides Bijan Robinson, I don't like really anything they drafted. Zach Harrison's not a bad edge rusher. Matthew Bjergensen out of Syracuse, Bergeron, whatever, something French or Swedish sounding. It's not a bad pick, but it's like I'm not impressed by it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should have went tackle first round, and I think that's when they should have got Skoronski. I know they kind of faded out Cordero Patterson running back wise last season. Tyler Algier looked pretty good for them at the last half of the year, so I don't think they really needed Bijan. I think they could have gotten Charbonnet or something like that, Tyjae Spears or something that could have given them a little bit, but I give it the same thing. I give it about a B-. Not a bad, not terrible, but I don't love anything really past Bergeron. You know what I mean? I mean, another team that needs a lot. So, I mean, they drafted in a lot of areas of needs, but I mean, nothing flashes out to me as like anything more than just like sufficient.
Not true. Besides Bijan, which I feel like was a reach, I feel like they could have easily traded back. I mean, because I feel like they just took best available. It's just there were some other holes they could have filled. Baltimore Ravens. I'll give it A-. I love Trenton Simpson. We've talked about this on our linebacker show. Zay Flowers was my number 2 receiver in this draft. If not, he was not his number 3. And then they also got Andrew Voorhees as like a flyer kind of guy. He injured himself during the combine. Finished the fucking drill. Like, I love when you guys get a late round edge and, dude, a late round steal. I'm loving this a lot. I'm giving the Ravens an A-.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna give him an A. It's you know what really sells me, because outside of Zay Flowers and Trenton Simpson, like I like Tavius Robinson and Andrew Voorhees, like you said, so that really gives it. It's just the fact that they got Trenton Simpson in the 3rd round. Like, I really thought that he could have went late first to Buffalo or somebody like that, or maybe even early second, but they got him in the 3rd round, and I think that's a steal for them. And you add Zay Flowers with Lamar Jackson, Trenton Simpson, the 3rd round's a steal. I think they had a pretty good draft, so I'm definitely going to give them an A for that.
Yeah, no, me too. The Bills, the Ravens, who were the laughingstock almost the entire offseason because how they handled the Lamar Jackson thing, came out and just cleaned house. Like, back-to-back drafts is getting good potential guys. Speaking of the Bills, I'm giving them. They took Dalton Kincaid in the 1st, Osiris Torrance in the 2nd, Dorian Williams out of Tulane in the 3rd. I'm giving it a B-, C+. It was underwhelming to me. Pro Football Focus gives him an A. I think the Kincaid one's great. I'll give him a C+. But the problem is I'm not going much higher than that. They really didn't. Like, all the guys they picked up were okay at best. Like, they're really banking on hidden gems. I really thought they needed a middle linebacker. They didn't get with the guy they should have taken. They should have taken Simpson in the 2nd round. I mean, I do like Osiris Torrance's upside. I love Kincaid. He's my favorite tight. He's my favorite tight end in the draft. I don't know. It just felt kind of like underwhelming to me. I feel like Buffalo could have done so much better, especially how their season ended.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was very underwhelmed with their choices. I mean, I agree with you. I think they really needed to go defense first. I think they needed somebody to help with the pass rush with Von Miller. I think they really needed somebody to replace Edmonds, who they lost in free agency. I was really thinking they were going to go linebacker in the first round. They went tight end. I liked Austin Knox, but I'm not going to be upset with giving him help with Dalton Kincaid. I think that's a great pick, but I just think they needed a linebacker more than that. Then they took the guard in the second, and they didn't address pass rush until round 3, and then they didn't address the secondary until round 7. And nothing really jumps out at me besides Kincaid and Torrance. I mean, Dorian Williams, yeah, but I mean, I think they could have used defense earlier on, and then maybe grab like a Zach Kuntz or something in like the 5th or 6th round instead. But I mean, that's what they went with. I agree, C+. I don't really see the A, but I mean, I give it a C+. It's not horrible, but it's not, to me, it's nothing that's going to put them over the hump to win a Super Bowl.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Carolina is next up. I'm giving it a B, even B. Listen, you nailed the number 1 overall pick. You get a good receiver for the slot for him. Or the outside, going with Adam Thielen, Terrence Marshall, and of course Miles Sanders running the ball. It's not a bad. DJ Chark, yeah.
Chark, yeah.
So that's not a bad team of 4 guys. That's not a bad 4-man receiver group. But after Mingo, it's kind of like, I mean, DJ Johnson at Oregon's an okay edge rusher. I had him I think edge rusher 9 or 10 on my board. So it's whatever at this point, honestly. It's Carolina. They did the most in free agency. Their big story was nail number 1 overall pick, so they were going to instantly get a B- as long as they didn't fuck up number 1.
Yeah. I agree. So I actually agree with PFF's grade of a B+. So I like Bryce Young a lot. I love Jonathan Mingo for them to go with who they already have. I think you mentioned DJ Johnson and Chandler Zavala. Good pickups, but nothing that really just, jumps out at you as like, I can't believe they snagged those guys or anything like that. But I do like Jamie Robinson out of Florida State. So for that, I'll give them a B+. I think, for the 5 picks that they had, I think they made some improvements with that team, especially with the division like that. That's just wide open.
No, I completely agree with you, and this is why I love cigar cutters, man. I only had about maybe 10 puffs out of this thing. Realized after going for a run, smoking a cigar wasn't the smartest thing in the world, so I'm going to save the rest of this for...
It's all right. Bianca has she's just got this nicotine little pen thing, and every time I hit it, when I tell you the most minuscule hits to the point where you don't even see smoke come out, and I just can't stop coughing.
Dude,
I would die.
I remember I was hooked on blues for a year?
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
That was brutal. All right, one of the worst habits I picked up while I was in mover. All right, and by the way, before we move any further, this mock draft preview is brought to you by the amazing people at candidates.com. Promo code BELLYUP20 for 20% off. Official sponsor of the Corner Booth podcast and Belly Up Sports. Shout out to our boys over at Candidates for by the way, their big e-packs come with 50 packs in them. I have 2 right now. I've only burned through about half of one. It's amazing. Gotta love this stuff. Their company just keeps getting better and better. All right, moving on. We're actually moving along pretty good. I'm proud of our pace right now. Maybe upbeat music. The Chicago Bears. The Bears is a tricky one because I'm partial. They took Tariq Stevenson, my boy out of Miami, in the second round. I like the Darnell Wright pick. I think they reached on him. Grovan Dexter, I don't hate it, but they really didn't. And they got Rashawn Johnson. It's a solid order to see, Matt. And they got Noah Sewell, who I was very high on.
Yes, very much.
So, I'm going to give it a solid B. Just good. It was a good draft. B+. I'll give it B+. Because they got depth guys. They didn't hit out of the park. There's no home run hitters in this draft. But they got solid guys who can compete day one and who's probably going to start.
Yeah, I give it a B+ too. My thing is, what's keeping me from wanting to give it anything higher is because I love the positions that they took, but I just think that some of the guys that they took in that position, I just kind of question. So like Darnell Wright, for example, I think the Bears should have stayed at 9 and taken Jalen Carter. I really thought that was the guy for them to just boost that pass rush to be like 1985 Bears-esque again when you had Edmonds, and then you've got you'd have Jalen Carter rushing the passer again. But if they were going to take tackle, Skoronski was right there. I think that's the best tackle in the draft. I'm surprised that they didn't take him, especially him being a Chicago kid. I like Tyreek Stevenson a lot. I love Noah Sewell. So for those reasons, I'm giving them a B+ because I love the rest of their picks. Like I said, I love the positions that they chose. I just think some players should have been different.
But this is also, and it was one of those drafts where they were talking about this at nauseum. It's like, listen, it's not one of those drafts where there's a clear-cut 30 top-tier players. Yeah. There's 15 first-round grades, and the rest is a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Which I actually love that take because I think this made it one of the most impressive drafts. By the way, shout out to Daniel Jeremiah. 46 out of 50 of the top 50 picks he nailed.
You know,
but he nailed they were drafted in the top 50, which is crazy.
Oh, all right, that works. I was gonna say in order. I looked at our recap and I had like one right in the first 10 picks.
I had
all the trades.
7 in the first 10.
All the trades screwed me.
I also was trying to will Bijan to the Eagles, but honestly, what Howie did in day 3, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
Now we have my first winner of the draft tonight, the Cincinnati Bungles. Way to come on, hit the gas, fellas. Nobody's knocking out Patty Mahomes unless you guys do.
Yeah.
Myles Murphy at 28. Awesome. You get DJ Turner, the fastest corner in the draft, at 60. Then you look at Jordan Battle, a solid center field guy, at 95. Charles Jones out of Purdue. Chase Brown, a bruising backup out of Illinois. And DJ Ivey in round 7, an underrated corner out of Miami. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Also not the punter, so for the brand bit.
No, I agree. I mean, I love the punter pick too because I mean they've already got a solid young kicker. So you add a rookie punter in there, and you got a pretty good special team so far. Myles Murphy's a steal at 28. DJ Turner's great. Jordan Battle was awesome next to Brian Branch. And then you got a receiver and running back duo, and I mean you got who do they have? No, that was Giovanni Bernard. He's not with them anymore. I saw him in the Bengals.
Joe Mixon.
Yeah, but you got Joe Mixon. Everybody's been on the block. Could he be cut or could he not be cut? But you throw Chase Brown in there for some speed, and then like you said, DJ Ivey. I think this was an A draft for them, an A minus draft for them. First high grade so far, but I think that's just what they needed to happen for them in order to at least solidify themselves as favorites for that division going forward.
Very nice. I got squirrels and foxes going nuts behind me in the woods. You gotta love living in the middle of the freaking sticks. All right. Yeah, they're my first winner. I think they might be the winner of the draft. Here's my first loser.
Yeah.
Cue the sound. Mr. Harper, will you please? Oh, there it is. Wow.
That's a clown question, bro.
First clown of the week, the Cleveland Browns. What rhymes with clown brown? There you go. It makes total sense to me. Cedric Tillman was our first pick in the 3rd round. I don't hate the pick, but I think it's a little overvalued for him. I think he's a 4th round grade in my eyes. Then after that, just nothing except for Dorian Thomas Robinson, a.k.a. Liv Cowherd's boyfriend. That is the only decent pick. It's just not great. But I love how Pro Football Focus gave them an A-. They're such I don't get. I mean, I guess for what they did with having no 1st or 2nd round picks, it's not terrible. So honestly, I'll give it a D+ instead of an F. I don't really think I ever had any F grade drafts, but I don't like even Tillman's good for me, but then after that, I'm just meh.
Yeah, I give it a C at best. I mean, Cedric Tillman's not a bad pick. Neither is Siaki Ika, but I like DeJuan Jones a lot. But after that, I mean, Dorian Thompson, Robinson, sure. I mean, he can back up Deshaun Watson for the next 4 years of his guaranteed contract. Cam Mitchell in Northwestern. I guess it's just really what they could do with the little of resources that they had from their trades with the Jets with Elijah Moore and their signing and trade for Deshaun Watson. So give him a C. I know they didn't start picking until the 3rd round, but just nothing really catches me besides DeJuan Jones.
Yeah, no, when it really came down to it, I really tried to give it the benefit of the doubt, but it wasn't just a good draft for me at all. All right, Dallas Cowboys. I'm giving it a good old fat C-.
Yeah, I think this just
Who the,
shows.
like, I didn't even hear Mozzie Smith. Like, I thought they were talking about like Travis Frederick. I'm like, listen, y'all hit a 1 in a million shot with T. Frederick. All right.
Yeah,
I
think
do
this
like
just,
Demarion Overshawn. I loved because they got him a lot higher. I thought he was going to go. And Deuce Vaughn in the 6th. Awesome pick. So they got some good depth guys later, but they just bundled their 1st and 2nd round picks. So I'm like,
yeah, I agree. I mean, I give it a good C, if anything. I mean, like you said, I like Deuce Vaughn in the 6th. I thought it was really special seeing his dad draft him. Mozzie Smith, I thought was going to go in like round 2.
I thought I had him going in round 3.
Yeah, I just was not a day 1 pick. Luke Schoonmaker, I think if they were going to...
With Brise and Clancy on the board, they took it.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's just another, just to sum it up, this is just proof as to why you probably shouldn't have Jerry Jones draft anymore.
Exactly. All right, next up we got the Denver Broncos. I'm gonna give it a B+. That's where I actually agree with Pro Football Focus here. Love the Drew Sanders pick. A very aggressive, fast linebacker, moves side to side really well. His coverage is improving. He's a pass rusher by nature, but he transferred to Arkansas to actually be a linebacker, a stand-up linebacker. So good for him. Marvin Mims, don't hate it. Solid interior receiver. You know, they're trying to move Jerry Jeudy. They're trying to move Cortland Sutton. Why not, right? Also, Alex Forsythe, solid center out of Oregon. And also they drafted the first white cornerback.
Yeah.
Shout out to Riley Moss.
They said the fastest white Bronco since OJ's car.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah, I give this a good B draft. I think, you know what, I would even give it the B+, like you said, if you really consider the fact that they had, 5 picks and they didn't pick until the 63rd pick in the 2nd round. So pretty much the very end. Marvin Mims is a solid pickup, and I like Drew Sanders a lot. Riley Moss is fast, and Forsythe's a nice steal in the 7th round.
Yeah,
I give it a good B+. I think they did good with the resources they had.
I'll give you that one. All right, Detroit Lions. Motor City Dan Campbell. Just out here biting kneecaps. Taking dudes early. I love it. This dude says, fuck your draft board. And he gets Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, which I was like, damn it. Well, then I realized why that was great was because that means that Swift was going to be heading east soon to his hometown. I love the Jack Campbell pick at 18. I absolutely love Jack Campbell. We talked about it on the show. Big stature linebacker, kind of like a Leighton Vander Esch, Kuechly kind of build. Just solid. And Sam Laporta, one of the more athletic tight ends out of Iowa. Brian Branch, just a good nickel safety. Hendon Hooker as a backup or future quarterback. Like, I don't see a questionable pick until even Broderick Martin out of WKU isn't bad. And Antonio Green, I watched him catch a long ball against the Tar Heels. Like, there's not a bad pick. I give it a solid B+. I won't give it an A because they reached on guys. And they could have taken Jet. They didn't have to trade it for Jahmyr Gibbs. They could have kept him at 18 or 17 in the draft. It's just they didn't have to go there, but
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's tough. I'm gonna give him a firm A-.
All right.
I like the running back and the linebacker thing. My thing is that I think, like you said, I think they could have got Gibbs at 18, and I think they could have traded back with that second first rounder and taken Jack Campbell later on. So I think they could have got those two same guys with later picks. What really sells me is that Sam Laporta out of Iowa tight end university for them is going to be phenomenal for Jared Goff. Brian Branch is, I think, slipped big time. I think a lot of us had him going top 25 in our mocks. He wound up going 45.
His lack of athleticism was what killed him.
Yeah, I think Sam Laporta is a great pick. I think Brian Branch is a steal. I think Hendon Hooker is a really good value pick in the third round to be behind Goff to learn for a year or two. And then I like the rest of the picks, but I give this one a solid A minus, just like borderline B plus A minus. I think they reached in the first two, but I still like who they took. If that makes sense.
No, I like that. With the next up, you have Houston Texans. Now, Houston, I love their first two picks. Then after that, it's meh. I mean, they got Henry 202 out of Alabama, who is a very underrated linebacker. I like him a lot. I'm going to give it a solid B. Like, as much of a B as a B can be. Because you get two of the top 5 most talented players in the draft, you kind of automatically get placed at least a B minus. And then they get Tank Dell out of Houston, and then they go get Henry 202. They have I don't mind Juice Scruggs as a player on tape, so yeah, it's honestly Houston had a good solid is a B draft. The problem is they could have gotten like Jalen. I believe they could have gotten Jalen Hyatt at 69, or picked up. There was a bunch of good receivers available at that point, so I was a little like, guys reach, but whatever.
Yeah, I gave it a solid B as well. Like I think they hit the nail on the head with CJ Stroud, and then I thought it was phenomenal. They just got right back on the clock. I thought that was awesome, and they took Will Anderson. I thought that was just two amazing back-to-back. Those are A-plus picks right there, those two. But then, like you said, he Scruggs. Probably could have took Hyatt at 62 or whatever it was that he was available at. Now I'm a big fan of Tank Dell, and then I like Henry 202, but other than that, I mean, I think it was a little underwhelming once you got past the first two picks. So I give them a solid B. Definitely made improvements, but I think they took the home run and then they just kind of walked with it.
I have my first A. I have my first A minus of the day. The Indianapolis Colts. Listen,
I think we also skipped over the Packers.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's do the Packers. Fuck it. Packers I give a B plus too. I agree with Pro Football Focus here. Like I'm not the biggest Lucas Van Ness guy. I want to see him be productive against actual talent. Like Luke Musgrave, I love the Jaden Reed pick. I think he was a sneaky kind of guy in the draft. They had a bunch of B guys. I'm not going to give this a B plus. I'm going to give it a B minus. They just had a lot of picks. I feel like they shotgunned their way through it, just firing off, trying to hit targets. They could have easily taken better players at 13 and at 42 and 50, but my favorite thing is at 13 when they didn't take Jackson Smith and Jigma, and their entire fan base is like, "Oh no!"
I'm gonna give this a C plus. I'm gonna go a little lower. And this has nothing to do with obviously the trade between.
I had a B minus. I kept doing I tried to talk myself into a B plus. I couldn't do it.
No, I'm gonna give them the C plus. It has nothing to do with the comparison between them and my team or anything. It's just like you got a brand new free, rookie quarterback. It's going on his 4th year in the league. It's first year starting. And you need to give him help. He has Dobbs and Watson, but Dobbs doesn't have the greatest of hands. And Watson emerged at the second half of the season, but he needs help. So you give him Lucas Van Ness on the edge. You should have taken Smith and Jigma. You should have taken Quentin Johnson. So then you give him Luke Musgrave in the second round, which I like. You don't go receiver till the end of the second round. You get J.D. Reed. I mean, I think moves could have been made. They had a lot of picks. They could have moved up and at least gotten Hyde or moved in just to take in somebody a lot better, maybe even Mingo rather than Reed. But then you take another tight end because you're not too confident in Luke Musgrave. Then you don't even address the needs like secondary. They don't address that until round 7. They take a kicker before that. And they took a quarterback round 5. I think it's a C plus. I think they just started picking to pick, and I don't know. I think they just should have went receiver heavy early on and not edge at 13.
True. All right, Indianapolis Colts. I'm going with my first A minus of the day. Anthony Richardson, you get your future backup. You get your future franchise quarterback. You get your solid receiver to help him out in the slot, and Josh Downs. Julius Britz is underrated as hell. I'd give him a solid B as a pick. But then you go out and get like Will Mallory in the 5th round, a underrated, really fast tight end. And they had a lot of picks. And they just used them. With solid guys. I didn't see any bad overdrafted guys. So you know what? Like, this is a solid. Anthony Richardson, I think, is what puts them over the top here. I think this is what gives them the A-. But yeah.
Yeah, I love the first like 3 to 4 picks or so. I give this one a good A- as well. I think Anthony Richardson was the best quarterback available on the board when Stroud and Young went, so I think that was a perfect pick for them. They didn't even have to move up. They just stayed right where they were. Julius Brents, I think, is an underrated solid pick. And I mean, realistically, like once you got past the top corners in the draft, I mean, I think it was really, slim. It was not slim pickings. It was just free for all after that. Who are you going to take? I like Brents. Josh Downs is great. Freeland's on a bad tackle out of BYU for them. I like them going offensive line a little early on. But I just like this draft a lot. I'd give it a good solid A-, like you were saying.
There you go. All righty, and moving on, we're actually almost at halfway mark. We'll make this one quick because this is my first meh. Like, I was like, I don't hate it, but it's like some team's going to have to be like a middle-of-the-road team. This was the Jacksonville Jaguars. I love Anton Harrison pick. I love the Tank Bigsby pick. After that, it's a bunch of, I don't hate it. I don't love it. But, Dougie P's always been kind of a wild card when he drafts, so.
Yeah, it's not bad. It just doesn't blow me away. Like, I give it a good, like, B. I love Anton Harrison at 27. I like Brenton Strange. I like Tank Bigsby a lot. And then once you get past those, like you were saying, I mean, I guess, it's nothing that really blows me away. They had a lot of picks, so they addressed a lot of needs, a lot of various positions they drafted. But I agree with this. Give it a solid B. After the first 3 picks, it's kind of...
There you go. Let's see how much they... Yep. PFF actually manned up and gave the Kansas City Chiefs a bad grade because I didn't know what the fuck they were doing in their draft. I think they got a little cocky.
Yeah, that's fair. I think they're just. I feel like we're just at that point where it doesn't really matter who they draft because they figure it out. Like, they take all these things away from them on offense and defense, and they still figure it out. But I'm not a big fan of the edge at 31. Rashee Rice I like, but I mean after that it's really like they just kind of like it's just kind of like they threw a bunch of names. It's like they threw a bunch of names in the in a hat and just pulled it. I give this one like a solid like C+, B-. Nothing.
I agree with that. Right now we're at the halfway mark, so also with this draft, the second half of this draft show is brought to you by the amazing people at EatsOfficial.com. Amazing, fashionable sunglasses at affordable, polarized prices. We are looking at them being now for the 3rd straight year a amazing sponsor of the Corner Booth podcast. Promo code I can't say it right. Corner Booth 10. Just Corner Booth for 10% off because my brain is shutting off. All right. Speaking of brain shutting off, the Las Vegas Raiders. No, I'm kidding. I'm giving them a B+. Tyree Wilson at 7. Love it. Michael Mayer in the 2nd round replaced Darren Waller. Love it. Trey Tucker, underrated. They do like get some receiver depth. It's not a bad draft. It's not a good draft. I think a B+ is. And then they got my boy out of Miami, who transferred to Arizona State for 1 year. Nesta J. Silvera, solid underrated defensive tackle. He's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I give this one a B+. I think what really keeps it away from an A is just, I mean, like, I love Tyree Wilson, especially at 7. I feel like he slipped a few picks to them. I think Michael Mayer is a great pickup for them as well. I mean, they've got Hunter Renfrow, and you've got you still got Devontae Adams, obviously, and you got Josh Jacobs in the backfield. Now you got Michael Mayer to fill in for Darren Waller for them on offense. So I like that pickup for them. I like Trey Tucker. I like Jacorian Bennett. I think Aiden O'Connell's a nice pick to have behind Jimmy Garoppolo and see if he can develop in a couple years. But other than that, I mean, good B+ right there. Nothing else really just wows me. So I would say if you want to compare it to most recent Mike Mayock drafts, this is a fucking home run.
This is maybe the best draft they've had since I would say the Derek Carr draft a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was Jack Del Rio was the coach, or no, maybe it was what's his face? It was Dennis Allen actually. The Los Angeles Horned Frogs. Oh, I'm sorry, the Los Angeles Chargers picking up Quentin Johnson, Darius Davis, and Max Duggan. On top of that, they got Tuli Tupu. I think I got that right. And Dalen Henley out of Washington State, who actually I don't mind him as a. And Jordan McFadden's not a bad tackle. I got to watch him go against Miami a few times. I give the Chargers a solid B. I called they were taking Quentin Johnston. I thought it was a perfect fit for them. They love their big body receivers. And Darius Davis is a missile. So, yeah. They got America's favorite backup in Max Duggan. Give it a solid B. Actually, no, I'll give it a B+. I'll give it a B+.
Yeah, I was just about to raise that to a B+. I'm not a big fan of Quentin Johnston to them at 21. I think value-wise, that's a fantastic pick. I just think like they already have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and they're just massive individuals. I didn't think you really needed another giant man, but I can't be upset with them picking arguably the number one rated receiver on a lot of people's draft boards at 21. I like the pick at edge. I love Dayon Henley for them. I think that's an underrated pick. Darius Davis, like you mentioned, that's really what sold it for me to make it a B+, was the fact that he can just plug in on the slot and just be like that quick small guy that they need. And then Max Duggan again. That's round 7. I thought he was going to go 5th round maybe. But I like the Duggan pick to back up Herbert. He's not the quarterback of the future for them because they have Herbert, but I still think it's a solid value pickup for them.
They could even run like Wildcat shit with him.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Rams. I'm gonna give it a solid B-. Steve Avila, love the pick at just a solid guard. Their first round 2 pick in it forever. Byron Young out of Tennessee. I didn't mind that at all. They picked your boy Stetson Bennett at 4 in the 4th round. They also grabbed LT's kid too, by the way, or his nephew or his kid. I can't remember, but they grabbed him in round 6. I like that a lot. They grabbed Jason. I believe it's Jason Taylor's kid out of Oklahoma in the 7th round. I don't know.
Sense.
It was okay at best. I think honestly a B- C+ is where I'll give it. The Rams they're ramming. I think at this point they're just kind of like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I don't remember the last time I've seen the Rams have this many draft picks. It's just wild to see because they've been so depleted.
I thought them picks.
Yeah, exactly. I like Steve Avila. I like Byron Young. I give this one a B. The fact that they didn't start picking until pick 36 and they didn't have anything after that until number 77. I think they got some good value for them. So I give them a B. They got a lot of freaking, iconic player kids on here. Like you said, Jason Taylor II. Then you got Dalvin Tomlinson's brother. I think it was, you said Travis Hodges Tomlinson. But I like, it's funny. I like the Stetson Bennett pick for them. I think he went in a round that's pretty good for him for 4th round. I think this kid needs to go to a team that he can learn from. I think him being behind Matt Stafford for the next 1 to 2 seasons under Sean McVay, I think that's just like a perfect scenario for him to learn the offense in the NFL behind a quarterback that's got Super Bowl winning experience, behind a coach that's got the same. So I think this is a perfect situation for Stetson Bennett to go to. So I give this one a solid B for them.
I'll do that one. All right, Dolphins. We'll make this one quick because their 1st round draft day was that quick. C+. Yeah. You lose automatically 2 letter grades for losing your 1st round pick, you dummy. I don't mind Cam Smith. I liked him a lot at cornerback. I think he gets penalized a lot, so he's got to work on that. And Devin Acne, whatever the fuck his name is. Fast ass little Naheem Hines 2.0. I don't hate it. I don't mind it at all. It's not it for me. It's a meh. It's a C+. It's a meh.
Yeah, I'd even go lower. I'm giving this one like a C-. I mean, they had 4 picks from the Tyreek Hill trade. All the trades that they've made between Hill and Jalen Ramsey, they've got 1 playoff. I mean, I know it just happened, but they went to the playoffs for the first time in, what was it, like 2016, was it? Were they earlier than that? Were they in? I don't think they were ever in with Tua or with Brian Flores. So I think you have to go before. I think Adam Gase got them in the playoffs his first year. I think that might have been. So we got to look into that. I don't think they've been to the playoffs in a little bit. But I'm just not. I like Cam Smith. He's all right. I mean, they put the running back from Texas A&M in there. They've already got Raheem Morris Raheem Mostert. They got Jeff Wilson Jr. back there, and I'm pretty sure they still have Sia Med and Gaskins or whoever. So, I mean, he added to a loaded backfield. He took tight end in the 6th round. Great. I think Zach Kuntz would have been better for them. Yeah, it's all right.
Speaking of another Minnesota Vikings, they go get Jordan Addison at 23 to pair with KJ Osborne and, of course, J Jets. Mekhi Blackman at 102. I don't love it. Jay Ward, don't love it. I give this a B-. They got Dwayne McBride out of UAB, who I think is super underrated as a running back. So I don't hate it at all. I just think they could have done so much better.
Yeah, it's tough because they let Thielen go. So you got, I would argue that defense is more important than receiver, especially when they have KJ Osborne and Justin Jefferson on there already. But like the defense was bad last year. Like that's really what kept them from going far in the playoffs was that defense. So I think they should have taken defense earlier on. So I like that they did corner in round 3 and 4, but they really should have went defense round 1 with their first pick. I feel the same way. I give this like a C+, B-. It really just was very underwhelming.
All righty. Next up, the New England Patriots. I'm gonna give it a solid. Bill, what the fuck? This is just, I was like confused. They ended up getting like an A- from I'm like, how? But they got some good dudes in the 4th and 5th round, which is how Bill makes his money. I like Christian Gonzalez and Keon White, 2 guys that are very high on my draft board. And then Keyshawn Butte at round 6, man. Of course, they drafted a safety out of Sacramento State in the 3rd round because why the fuck not? Isaiah Bolden out of Jackson State.
Don't forget they traded up with the Jets to get a kicker in the 4th round.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, it's just a typical Bill draft. I give it a B. I was about to give it. The way the Patriots fans would say, the sky was falling, but like, I mean, it was a typical Bill Belichick draft, man. It's par for the course.
I give it a good B+. I'm in love with the first 2 picks. Like Christian Gonzalez at 17 was a giant steal for me. I had him going 7 to the Raiders originally. I thought they got a great value in him. I love Keon White at the 2nd round. He looked very angry on TV, so I'm not excited for him to be I'm not excited for him to be playing my team twice.
Well, he was projected to go in the 20s, so like
yeah, that's probably
he fell like what 15 spots. He was ticked.
Yeah, I mean Jake Andrews it's all right. I mean I don't like that they traded up to get the kicker. I don't really think anybody was probably going to give him much competition for that. I like Mafi at 5. I love Keyshawn Boutte at 6, obviously for reasons that obviously everybody knows. I love LSU, and then I would like the corner in round 7 with the guy from Jackson State, Isaiah Bolden. So for that, I'd give him a good B+. I don't think it was one of his worst drafts, but some questionable things.
Fair enough. New Orleans Saints. I'm gonna give it an A-. I'm just kidding. I'm not that nice. I'm gonna give it a B again. Another meh. I do love the Brian Breeze pick at 29 and the Kendre Miller pick at 71. But after that, I was kind of just like, nothing really impressive. I think a B- would be just a solid reach for them. I think that's what they earned.
Yeah, I agree. I give him a solid B- as well. I love Brian Breeze at 29. I think they reached on Foskey at 40. I do like that pick. I just think they took him a little early. Kendre Miller, I like you were mentioning. And then after that, it's pretty gloomish. So I agree. It was a good draft. It wasn't a bad draft, but it wasn't great. I give it a B.
All right, the New York Football Giants. I don't get the A+ hype. I think it's a good draft. I like a lot of the players they took, but I'm giving it an A- because here's the issue. I worry about Deonte Banks' physicality. Who does he have in his fucking division? A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, and C.D. Lamb, 3 of the more physical receivers in football. Can he keep up with them all? Yeah, but I think A.J. might literally sit on him before he catches the football. Jonathan Michael Schmitz, love it. Good solid interior guy. They need all the help they can get with how Dallas and Philly went all interior D-line. Dude, my favorite pick, though, is Jalen Hyatt. I think he was the steal of the draft. I think he's a first-round grade receiver, and they got him at 73. Dude is so fucking fast, and it actually scares me a little bit. We better have some good safety this year. But then again, it's Daniel Jones, so find a way to throw an interception.
Yeah, I give this an A-. There's only one team in this draft I have an A+ perfect grade for, and it's not the Giants yet, but I give the Giants a good A-. I think they had a fantastic draft. They took corner first round, which is a big need for them. Deonte Banks, I love the pick, but we'll see how he handles those number one receivers in that division. I think John Michael Schmitz is a fantastic pick in round 2 value-wise, and I also think the steal of the show for them was Jalen Hyatt in the 3rd round. I think I've been praising him to get drafted by them for the last couple months, and they did it. And I'm excited
you're to blame
to see.
for this? Fuck you.
I am to blame, dude. I've been preaching to all my Giants friends and Bianca about Jalen Hyatt to the Giants. I thought that'd be a perfect pick. So I'm excited to see what he does with that offense. And I just think overall they just had a very good draft for Joe Shane and Brian Dable. So I give this one a solid A-. And like I said, there's only one team I have a perfect draft for, and it is not the next one.
Well, your New York Football Jets, I'm going to give a B to. I thought they actually did good in their first 3 picks. I like Will McDonald. Do I think they overdrafted him? Yes. But do I think he fits their scheme? Also, yes. Dude's a freak athlete. Like Joe Tippmann, get interior help to set up the run blocking. We've learned from the Jason Kelce's and the Mitchells and the who's the safe center for the fucking Chiefs?
Creed Humphrey.
Creed Humphrey. I knew it was like some combination of boxers' names. Dude, good centers win you championships, and this is a great way to do it. I think Joe Tippmann's a great center. I like his game a lot. Like Carter Warren out of Pitt. Listen, they got him at 120. He could have been drafted in the 90s. It wasn't a bad pick. I give it a solid D. Even could have been worse.
Yeah. I was going back and forth with it. It was not
Aaron Rodgers. We have to add that against it too.
Yeah, I mean, listen. When you consider that you lost a second and you picked 2 spots back and you got Aaron Rodgers, I think that's amazing. But at the same time, you really got to analyze this fairly. It's not a great draft to me, and it's not a bad draft. It's middle of the pack. I think it's like a B, like you were saying, B-, B. I like Will McDonald a lot. Like as a player, I think he's fantastic. I think he's going to be just a machine on defense for us. At 15, I think I rather would have traded that pick and moved back 6 or 7 spots, and I still could have taken him, gotten more picks for that. Joe Tippmann I love as well, but I think John Michael Schmitz was the pick right there at center if you're going to go with one. But I'm not upset at Tippmann. He's got an amazing mullet. We just re-signed our center right before the draft, so I was confused with why they went center with round 2 rather than maybe guard or tackle instead of waiting until the 4th round. Yeah, that's true.
Guys like Swiss Army knives, you can move them around.
And we need to praise Elijah Vera Tucker more often because this man's a left guard who's playing right guard and just finished playing right tackle. So this man's already on 3 different positions, and he's only 2 years into the league. And he's a great player at all of them so far. So I love that guy for those reasons. Maybe Tippmann can play guard for a little bit too, but Carter Warren I think is a really nice pickup as well. Israel Abanikanda is a very fast running back, even though we already have 3. That was my issue with that. I like Zaire Barnes. Zach Kuntz apparently is the most athletic tight end in history, and apparently that's a fact. Like he scored the highest on a certain athletic test since like 1987, they were saying. I don't know. He's got some sort of freakish athletic score that's the highest that they've seen or something like that. I don't know. But apparently it's an amazing athletic ability tight end, so I love that at 6. So I give it a B. I think they made good picks. I just think that they picked some people too early.
All right. Now to my team. A+. Howie, way to throw in another masterclass, my guy. Holy shit. And here's why it gets a masterclass. It's a trade. It's a trade that put him from an A to an A+. I thought this was a solid A- draft until they traded a 7th round pick for a possible franchise level running back. Yes, I said that because DeAndre Swift was grossly misused in Detroit, and it actually angered me as somebody who's had on my fantasy team the last 3 years. He just happens to fall into my lap in like the 5th round every year. Jalen Carter at 9. Dog. Nolan Smith at 30. Dog. Keely Ringo at 109. Dog. Okay, all Georgia jokes aside, Philadelphia Bulldogs. Dude, Jalen Carter is the most talented player in the draft. Not named quarterback. Nolan Smith is a freak athlete who can learn from Hassan Reddick, who basically was his pro comp. Tyler Steen out of Alabama, part of that road hog offense they've got. But here is my two steals of the draft. At pick 66 and picks 105. You get Sidney Brown, who's the first true like safety who was drafted. Like a lot of the guys who were drafted ahead of him were tweeners. Sidney Brown got an 89 coverage grade, and he was the motor behind that secondary at Illinois that allowed Witherspoon and them boys to fucking wreck shit. Sidney Brown's a freak athlete, ran a 4.4, a sledgehammer of a hitter. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a smaller Taylor Mays, mixed with a little bit of a Malcolm Jenkins. But I'm excited for him to definitely take somebody's spot day one. And then, dude, Keely Ringo was the number one rated cornerback for 95% of the season until Marvin Harrison Jr. sunned him. But he doesn't have to start day one, and he has Darius Slay and freaking James Bradbury to learn behind, which is amazing. And then DeAndre fucking Swift for a 7th round pick. God damn, Howie. Just clap it up for Mr. Roseman. Just putting on a goddamn masterclass. That's why I broke out the cigar. It was for Howie. Dude, just like literally my entire Twitter board was just Howie's cooking. Everyone from Darius Slay's wife down to dudes from like the McAfee show all the way up to Daniel Jeremiah. They were all saying, up, Howie's cooking again, guys. Howie's cooking. So absolutely love it.
Yeah, this is my perfect draft. This is my A+ draft right here. I mean, Jalen Carter at 9 is amazing value right there. Everybody had him going maybe 3 or 5. Nolan Smith at 30 is another steal. I mean, I thought they were going to have to trade up to get him. They didn't even have to budge. Tyler Steen's going to be a good tackle out of Alabama for them. Sidney Brown is a great pick at the 3rd round for you guys after losing Epps and Gardner Johnson. Keely Ringo is probably the best pick of this entire draft, to be honest with you. Just the value that you got for a guy that was in the top 3 of cornerbacks on everybody's draft board for all this time.
He was a top 5 pick in January.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And then he had one bad game, and he just dropped like 4 rounds to you guys. And I think that was an amazing pick. He was somebody who I was keeping my eye on after round 2, and I just couldn't believe he kept going. And then he threw in DeAndre Swift.
I was walking into the gym on Saturday, and they said Keely Ringo. I'm like, fucking go!
Yeah, that, and you just add DeAndre Swift, and that's just amazing because now Swift can be that lead guy in Philadelphia for them, and it's a perfect scenario for them. He just had an absolutely amazing draft.
Was a horrifying running attack.
Yeah,
and then you still have Boston Scott, and then they're going to probably try to have to put Trey Sermon on the practice squad, which is magnificent that they are that loaded at running back. Also, like it's just even they also got like a backup quarterback, Tanner McKee for Hurts, because you need your athletic white boy to be behind Hurts. It's how the world works. Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to give this an A-. I love this draft. The only thing that ticked me off is they did not address the cornerback position early enough. Broderick Jones, road grader. You want to protect your quarterback who you're trying to prove to everyone is worth something, even though he's probably not. Great. Broderick Jones is that dude at 14. Keanu Benton at 49 is a plug in the middle. They get Darnell Washington because they haven't gotten the tight end position right since Heath Miller was there. And then they go get Nick Herbing to learn from TJ Watt and possibly go on the other side of the ball. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm giving this one an A- as well. The only reason why I'm not giving it anything higher is the exact reason that you're saying, is that they just didn't address cornerback or secondary at all until the 7th round. I love Broderick Jones for them. They traded up and got ahead of the Jets to take him. Keanu Benton's a great pick. Darnell Washington will be nice with Freiermuth, and I love Herbig at round 4. I think that's a steal for them. I think he's going to be really good in the NFL, especially with TJ Watt next to him. And then it's just the only knock is that they took corner round 7. I mean, they lost Cam Sutton, and they replaced him with, I think it was Patrick Peterson. So, I mean, that's a 32, 33-year-old corner right there. You should have went one earlier instead of Corey Trice Jr. in round 7. So that's the only reason why I'm giving them an A-.
Don't love it. Next up, the 49ers. And, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Harper, please take it away. I just love shitting on these guys so much.
This is really bad.
That's a clown question, bro.
Our second clown of the week is the San Francisco 49ers. Sweet God. Kyle, I know you're trying to outthink the room here, but you guys weren't that close to winning a Super Bowl. I hope you realize that. You drafted like you just won the year before. Yeah, you got Javon Hargrave. Congratulations. He's going to be good for 8 sacks, a couple broken tackles, and a lot of good plays. But here's the thing. You don't have a quarterback. You have Sammy IC Ghosts and give middle school teachers mono. And Mr. Rubber Elbow himself, Bryce Petty. I just like Jake Moody, a kicker in the 3rd round, and then Jair Brown is a 3rd round rated safety at best. I mean, high 3rd round. Like I'm talking like pick like 100. Darnell Lutter out of South Alabama. Okay, I guess. I like Robert Beal because he was the other edge rusher on that Georgia team, and honestly, he wasn't bad on tape. The problem was his teammates the last couple of years were Jordan Davis, Noah Smith, and Jalen Carter. I do like the D Winters pick because he's definitely kind of fits that Shanahan prototype. But other than that, like, dude, like this is bad. This is my first F because they drafted a kicker in round fucking 3. That makes no sense to me. Why would you do that?
Yeah, this is bad. I give this like a D, and the only reason why I'm not giving it an F is because I really do like Jair Brown. So I like that pick in the 3rd round for them. You know, I think what really makes it worse is that they didn't have any 1st or 2nd round picks this year, and that was because of the Trey Lance trade. So when you really think about the fact that Mr. Irrelevant has taken your 3rd overall quarterback's job and he hasn't even started yet, and this is your draft,
it just proves to me why the 49ers are a fucking meme. It just makes so much. It makes so much sense.
How many tight ends do you need to draft? Like they
took apparently because George
Kittle's
Kittle's going to miss 80% of the season because he gets injured. Shout out to Theo Vaughn for that joke.
I'm glad they have Cameron Latou out of Alabama that they took after the kicker. So. Yeah, so this is terrible.
That's my first F of the day. I'm going to go to the other side of the spectrum to my 3rd and final A+, the Seattle fucking Seahawks. Hey, Pete and John, good job, guys. That was a masterclass. Not only do you prove to your quarterback that you got his back, you also address a lot of problems that made your team hard to lose to. You go get a dog of a cornerback at the 1st overall, at your 1st pick. Then you go get an elite slot receiver to go with Lockett and DK Metcalf, and Jackson Smith and Jigma, Derek Hall, and Zach Chernoblat in the 2nd round. Love both these picks. One is a bruiser with wiggle, and the other one is a great explosive edge rusher. Then you go get a guard in the 4th round, who I honestly, out of Anthony Branford out of LSU, actually liked a lot. Then I like Jarek Reed. He was like one of those sleeper safeties I was kind of hoping maybe we get in the later rounds. And Kenny fucking McIntosh, another fucking bruiser. Pete knows running backs get hurt. He's got the second that Kenneth Murray went down, they were fucked last year. This way, Kenny McIntosh, Zach Chernobot, whatever the fuck his name is, they're both monsters, just road grading yards. I love this pick. Petey, John Boy, great draft, guys. Great draft. Hawks back. Hawks 12, they're back, baby.
You know, it's tough not to give this one an A+, honestly. I mean, they got the best cornerback in the draft at 5. They got arguably the best receiver at 20. Derek Hall is a great pick for them in round 2. Zach Charbonneau, I think that's how you say it, is a fantastic running back for them in the 2nd round. Pair him up with Kenny Walker, and you just got speed, unimaginable speed in the backfield. Yeah, and you don't have to worry about Kenny Walker getting hurt again because he has somebody to take a couple 5 to 10 carries off his belt or whatever per game. Not great for fantasy owners, but fantastic for them in real life.
I mean, listen, I drafted Walker last year in the 12th round, and I let him go because he hadn't gotten a carry yet. Then Rashad Penny gets hurt. I'm like, motherfucker.
Bradford's a great pick for them. I love Kenny McIntosh around 7. I think this is overall as perfect as a draft as you can get.
I think it's better than. I honestly think it's better than Phillies if you take out the DeAndre Swift trade, because the Seahawks addressed every single need they had, and they did well with it.
Yeah, I agree.
We go from one of my favorites to one of my least favorites. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, come on down.
He gave this an A-.
I don't know how, because you're not solving any problems. Yeah, I like the Cody Maw trade. That Cody Maw pick, that was the only one I liked. Everything else is kind of just like, I don't like Elijah Cansey unless he can learn from Peter Fay in the middle, like how to shed blocks better than using one move. And Servorcia Dennis out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Diaby out of. It's just there's not a lot of good players. I'm kind of just like, I think Todd Bowles might actually be losing his shit.
Yeah, I give this one a solid C+. I like Elijah Cansey. My thing with them is that I think defense was the stronger side of the ball for them than offense. Yeah. And they need offensive line help. They need running back help. They need tight end help. And they didn't address any of that until the 5th round. They took a tight end in the 5th round, a receiver in the 6th round, and that was it. They went defensive. They went interior defensive line round 1. They took the Cody Mauch at round 2, which I love for them. And then they go edge, linebacker, corner, and then they go tight end, receiver, edge, corner. I just think that they needed to take offense early, especially the offensive line for Baker Mayfield. So I give this one like a C+ because I feel like they went defense heavy, and I think they really need to just help out Baker.
Yeah. Now we move on to one of my sleeper teams, the Tennessee Titans. Mikey Vrabes, just good job, Mike. Just you had 6 picks and you missed with maybe 1. Okay, you get Skronsky to help out that abysmal O-line. You get Levis to finally replace Ryan Tannehill in the 2nd round. He's going to probably play by week 6. You get Tajay Spears as a good change of pace back for DH because I guess you're not trading him. You get Josh Wiley, who I love Josh Wiley. He was one of my underrated tight ends. He was one of the engines that made that Cincinnati offense run with Desmond Ridder. Perfect. And then Jalen Duncan out of Maryland, honestly, I saw on mock draft boards went as high as 4th round, and they got him in the 6th. It's not a bad draft. Mikey Vrabes hit it. I think they could have gotten somebody better run something like Dowell, but I mean that's whatever. Small school receivers are kind of his thing.
I'm gonna give this one a B+. So I think what really makes this a B+ to me is that I think they got great value at their picks. Like Skronsky at 11 is phenomenal, especially since he was the 2nd tackle off the board, and I think he was the best one in the draft. Will Levis at 33. I'm not a big Will Levis guy, but I think that's a phenomenal value for him when everybody, but he was pretty much well-roundedly thought of to go top 10. So you get him at 33. I think that's tremendous upside for that. And I think they had a pretty good draft. I like Spears. My issue is all of his ACL injuries. Is he going to be like Todd Gurley and only be in the league for 5-6 years? How is his knee? How's his knee?
Sorry, I didn't mean to keep cutting you off. I think he's a perfect change of pace back. That's why I think he went to the perfect.
No, yeah. My fear is how long is he going to be in the NFL? But I think it's a nice pickup in general, like the kind of player that he is, and a change of back. I just hope that he has a good career. So I give this a good B+. I think they could have went in different routes and some things, but I don't think it's a bad draft. I think it's better than people think. I don't think it's amazing.
Very nice. See, I did find, we were talking about this pre-draft, the kid out of Tulsa, who I think is honestly the best, like the biggest sleeper back. But the problem is he didn't even get drafted. So I'm kind of sad he didn't get picked. But like I think he's like he ran like Todd Gurley with wiggle, which was kind of like really cool for me to see. But I think I think he's gonna be that undrafted, like the Arian Foster, like drafted free agent out of nowhere. Washington Commanders, we are Commanders. Bum, 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 bum. Here we go, commies. Here we go. Manuel Forbes 16, love it. Marcus Peters 2.0, not very physical, but is a great ball skills guy. And then they went the opposite way, and Jertavius Martin, the other side, who was like nitty gritty, kind of picky physical, kind of just very. He's one of those like that Illinois secondary was phenomenal. And then KJ Henry at round 5, love that pick. So I give it a B+. I think the Commanders honestly had the second best draft. Didn't have the worst draft class in the East. I think that belongs solely to Dallas. New York, I think, and Commanders are closer than people want to admit, and Philly's just sprinting away like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of draft that you get where you really address needs, and sometimes it's not a bad thing. Like with the Commanders, I don't know how long it's been since they've had a quality secondary, like just overall corners.
D'Angelo Hall.
Yeah, exactly. You have to go back to the fucking Hall days.
Sean Taylor, that team, and LaRon Landry, and damn, that was
DeJuan Landry too. I think they had.
LaRon Landry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Matt. We were in middle school.
Yeah, that's my point exactly. That's why I'm giving this. That's exactly why I'm giving this draft a solid A minus. Yeah, I know. I'm giving this one an A minus though because they went corner back to back. Which if there was any team to do that, it should have been the Commanders. I mean, so my only thing is I'm worried they're throwing all of their eggs in the basket of Sam Howell, which he didn't look bad that one game he started, but that's the problem. It's just one game. But Emmanuel Forbes and Jartavius Martin with their first 2 picks for corners, I love that. I love that for them going secondary first 2 rounds, and then going offensive line the next 2, which was another need for them. Is that they needed help on the line after they lost Brandon Scherf and guys like that after that. So they needed help on the line. KJ Henry's a great pickup for them as well. Chris Rodriguez Jr. out of Kentucky. I give this one a solid A minus. They went needs, but I think they got good value at the needs that they drafted, and I just love the corners for them first 2 picks.
It's an average draft, but you know what? They had some good picks, and I think that's why they went up to a B plus for me. It was very of course, Dendrick Prince went to the Kansas City fucking Chiefs. God damn it.
They get some good undrafted guys.
Oh my god, they're about to fucking smoke teams. Because you thought, I'm telling you, Matt, you want to watch some fun? Go watch his highlights from 2021 when he actually had a good O-line and a good offense around him. Sweet God, it was just like watching Todd Gurley. I'm just like, this is beautiful.
And then other news that popped up while we were doing this: the Cardinals declined the 5th-year option on Isaiah Simmons.
Uh-oh.
Not really a big shocker in my opinion either.
Yeah, he's been very he's definitely kind of been mid at best.
Yeah, definitely not the 9th overall or whatever he was, 1st-round pick kind of thing.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I really try to understand teams' draft boards, and I thought Isaiah Simmons was this can't-miss prospect. The problem is he can't cover.
Mm-hmm.
I said this in the draft. I said this to Kevin multiple times, and Kevin agreed with me, and I was right, because I said the one problem is he's athletic as hell, but he doesn't know how to use it. So that is why, unfortunately, Isaiah Simmons will probably be a bounce-around guy because he's a freak athlete, but he can't cover.
Mm-hmm. Which is insane. You get all the...
You know how great this episode was? I didn't even finish a full beer.
There you go. That's just, I think just teams really get overshadowed by like athletic traits. Like, great, he can jump. He's got the highest vertical jump, or he's got a 4.4 40, or he can put up 30 reps on the bench. But like, can he cover? Can he play his position? We all know he's a freak athlete and that he can lift heavy and he can jump high and he can run fast, but can he cover? And that is his position. And that would just, at the end of the day, that's just, you can't play your position. You're a very athletic, great, but I need you to play linebacker.
It's the biggest. Linebacker is the most underrated position in football still. I think people still sleep on it too much. It is a field general for your defense. That and safety. All right, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to our sponsors, Canadips, Yeats, and of course SeatGeek for promo code BellyUp. I believe a decent amount of money off your thing. I have to get clarification. I think it's like 50 or 40. Don't quote me on that. I don't want to get false advertising, but you get a good discount when you use the promo code BellyUp. So there you go. Official sponsor of Belly Up Sports and not the Corner Room Podcast because I'm a dipshit. We will be back on Thursday for our May the 4th episode. May the 4th be with you. I don't know if I'll be wearing any Star Wars props. I may have like my Mandalorian t-shirt on, but I got nothing else. No Star Wars helmets right now. No lightsabers. Just t-shirts. And soon to be a tattoo, but that's a whole nother ball game. But yeah, folks, we appreciate you stopping by. It got cold as shit out because it started raining by me. Don't worry, I'm under a covered deck. So, big brain moves, kids. We will see you on Thursday for our May the 4th episode. Of course, our resident version of AJ Hawk. DJ Stewart will be there as well. We hope you have a great week. Congrats to the Eagles, Steelers, and Seahawks. And Matt, your Jets, because your Jets got Aaron Rodgers. But yes, for all those teams having great draft weeks, and of course the Cincinnati Bengals as well. We will see you guys on Thursday. From now on, after this Thursday, keep up to date on our Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and our Facebook for when our shows will be. Me and Matt have earned a lot of. This has been a grueling draft process since February. Me, Matt, and Mason are definitely a little burnt out. We're also going to be taking some weeks off to do some maintenance on the show to get ready for the football season. So, yeah, it's going to be a good time. Also, be on the lookout for me and Matt's live show coming to you this summer. It's going to be a good time. We're thinking cigars, cameras, beers, and maybe barbecue. All right, folks, have a good week and enjoy. Peace.